So, Sophie, it's just a question that everybody's asking. Are you the sauce?
HP or tomato?
Good question. Good to see you all again. I've got Christian with me today, a double hitter. Welcome to my Doctor Who clinic. Ask Dr. Brendan anything on Doctor Who. You have an appointment with me to offload your angst, your concerns, your problems, your whinges, your anxieties about Doctor Who. And we've got Doctor Who Day to talk about. And my God, I think there's a few whinges out there. I'm here to diagnose, analyse, dissect, medicate, and prescribe for you all. So what is really troubling us? What needs looking at? What needs the Brendan treatment? And today, Brendan and Christian. So let's get him on. He's free. I might as well get him. Hello, Christian.
Howdy, howdy. Good to see you.
And I'm never going to say Happy Doctor Who Day because that is just like vomit inducing. Gee, me. Some people have kids and birthdays and stuff, and it's like Happy Doctor Who Day. I mean, maybe if it's a 50th, and maybe when Doctor Who's on the top of its game. But honestly, I'm going to do a stream about Doctor Who Day. Why? Is there any content? So there's a lot to talk about with what was said yesterday. All the Ron hits yesterday, and the flops and the hoaxes and the rumours, weren't there? So I think we're going to have a bit of fun about this because everybody. Right, welcome everybody. Doctor Who Day +1. There you go. And let's talk about what really is going on. So, welcome, Lon. Tonight we're live again at 8 p.m. Me and Stefan. I did have to reschedule from Friday. I honestly, the tiredness levels have been crazy. So tonight, 8 p.m. Missing episodes, Daleks Master Plan, with 2 new crazy cliffhangers too. Loads of action. So look out for that one. Yeah. Look at Peter Butterworth on the little rock. I mean, honestly, love these colour ones. Daleks Master Plan. Is it the gift that keeps giving? I'm going to say to you, Christian, is the Daleks Master Plan a blockbuster, an epic, or a barfest, snooze fest filler?
I considered it to be one of those epic stories from the 60s. It was just this side of something that they could have done on the big screen. There was that much content in the story to play with. So it does stand above a lot of the other stories.
I'll give my opinion tonight at 8 o'clock, everybody. With good old Stefan, he's passionate and informed, so it's another double header there. So, Doctor Who Day hoax. I'm calling it. A lot of people on Twitter were. I'm not the only one. But there's the photograph, or my doctored version of the doctored photograph. But I'm going to make you wait for a second, everybody. And very good to see everybody. The thread's already on fire. I think you do have angst today. I think people are on fire. Doctor Who Day. People were expecting so much, but what happened? This is one I want to start with, Christian. Who the hell is this lad in the TARDIS? When I showed this to Jamie, because it's on Instagram and it's on Russell T Davies's Instagram account, and he names the person and everything. But when I showed Jamie the video for about 15 to 18 seconds, he kept saying, "It's a woman." I said, "No, it's not a woman." He said, "Well, he's walking like a woman." And I thought, this is going to end badly. Have you actually now seen this, Christian?
I had seen that very briefly, and the first thing that came to my mind was RTD. This smacks of RTD and his interests. And unfortunately, if that's the first thing that comes to one's mind, that is not a good marker for how well this is going to go over.
Well, this is it. There's friends and there's friends, aren't there? You can be. I know. He uses the Murray Gold music for the 30 seconds. He plays with the TARDIS. The TARDIS looks as though it's going to crash and everything. So basically, it's a bit of playtime for whoever this is. It's Oliver Cole, actually. John Yulden says it's Rose from season 2. That was the giveaway straight away for me. Lee Smith, who is this? Right, let me explain as much as I can. Not that I know every minutiae of RTD's life. So basically, you can see here, he says, "Happy birthday, Oliver," from Russell T Davies. The picture in the middle is a shot of Oliver Cole with hair, and Russell T Davies says, "Amazing kiss kiss." So it's the same lad. So amazing kiss kiss. Do you want to come in my TARDIS? It sounds dodgy to me.
It does sound dodgy.
There's a bit more of Oliver Cole with his hair looking a bit different. Oh my God, to have hair. A little bit of something. Russell T Davies says morning. One kiss. They must have had a row. And then I just took one shot. I am not gonna, folks. I am not going to convert the Instagram video and put it on here. I've got a life, you know. You think I'm not stalking RTD that much. So anyway, that's Oliver Cole in the TARDIS, and he runs around and gets very excited. Murray Gold music is playing. Everybody then started guessing. What's the betting? This is RTD's sneaky way of telling us this is the new Doctor. I mean, there would not be that blatant, Christian, would there?
Well, you know, it's hard to put anything past RTD. One of the things that we've heard talk about is that there's no way that the BBC would finance a Christmas special without having something it could lead into. That could be the case. If that's the case, this could be a version of the Doctor that RTD is trying to set up. Now, remember, he's only been commissioned for this one special. We don't know that he's going to be the person responsible for anything that follows. However, if he were not the person commissioned, then what he's doing is he's tying the hands of whoever might come after him by putting another formal face on the new Doctor, and that's profoundly unwise. But this does smack of an RTD gambit, and he's very good at promotion, self-promotion, and creating gambits.
I mean, the only thing I'd give it, right, because I think the main version is this just a friend who he's given to play in the TARDIS. They've just chucked some Murray Gold music on top because they can break any copyright they want when it's their show, and that lad gets to play a little bit as if the TARDIS is going to crash. You know, like a birthday gift. I'd love. Can I have a birthday gift like that, or am I on the wrong side of the fence? Am I one of the people who will not be allowed? Can you pay for this RTD? Is there actually somewhere online I can go and actually bid to be in the TARDIS for 30 seconds and make a video, or is it only friends? And go on.
I'm willing to bet, Brendan, if you had a little altar to RTD and you had some video shots of you doing proper obeisance as you worshipped at the altar of RTD, and he was aware that this is the side of the aisle you're on, he might grant you that opportunity. But you've got to be a worshiper.
Okay, then all right. I can worship RTD. I've just made this video. I'm sure this was for Doctor Who Day. So let's see. Am I worshipping RTD here?
Lucky there was no fog. I'd never have found this.
I suppose we are doing the right thing, aren't we?
Stinks, Julian, me walkie, always a fallout, a fury from the deep.
Where's the Turkish Dumpers this time?
Feels familiar.
Very casual, Grandad.
I can't stand this. I'm having a breakdown. This has been one of the worst days of the week. The Sense Sphere. I want it shut down now. I don't like their opinions. They don't realise I'm Russell T Davis. Russell T. The.
When I say run, run.
Run! Where are we?
Keep your eyes peeled. I have a nasty feeling.
It's a bit of tack, Grandad.
It's an antique. You're becoming millionaires. Let's rummage around and let's see what else we can source.
You mean Nick? I'm going to tell Gran.
I'll just say I was looking for the G-spot.
This is a massive warehouse of scrap.
This is what me and your Gran used to think was modern.
Look at this. And this. Oh, it stinks!
Watch what you're throwing!
Is that a repair shop in here?
Your gran has something like this in a drawer. It's got frequencies.
Russell,
The Welsh
T.
Rimback. He's
the
found
only,
us!
I
the
want my
Alpha,
mum!
the Omega, and everything in between. Honest to God, the Saviour, the Christ of Doctor Who. Without me, there would be no excitement, no wildness, no humour, no magic.
Was that respectful?
Oh, yes, that gives all the respect RTD is due.
So everybody, you can expect to see me replacing Oliver Cole in the TARDIS because of my due deference and respect to RTV. At least he's mentioned. I mean, I've got him holding a massive, I don't know, marrow cucumber. Thank you, Garbage Who. It's always Garbage Who with the great AI, so thank you for that. I have to keep using it. And we've got the Who Pets at Totters Lane, or as I say, Tatty Lane. So there you go. So this Oliver Cole, as Starboy here says, incredible things happening on RTD's Instagram. 99% certain he's just been horny on main, but the Doctor Who fans in the comments think he's carefully laying out a complex labyrinth of clues. The only thing I would say, yes, I think it's a birthday treat for somebody you know and blah, blah, blah. But is it possible, Christian? I suppose everything's possible, but would... We know we're going to talk about this AI Paul McGann, Billie Piper photograph in a moment. If something got out that you really, really did not want to be noticed too much, do you throw something else in to switch attention, or am I just getting like a complex labyrinth of clues? I'm just trying to kind of see stuff that's not there.
Well, no, it's very common. If one narrative gets out, then you craft another narrative to try and distract and redirect people's attention. So that is common. The problem with RTD, and I do think it's a problem, is he's given to a lot of self-promotion and propagandizing. That's his modus operandi. And so I could see him planting bits of information to keep Doctor Who in the news and thus to keep his name in the news. Whether it was a credible suggestion that he somehow pulled off a coup and coerced Mcgann to cooperate, or has crafted a successor doctor in the form of Oliver Cole, all of that is pure conjecture. And it may not any of it mean anything, because again, we know that he has this pattern. Instead, you'd have to bank on recognizing the credibility of sources who leak information, who have leaked information in the past, who seem to have a 99% accuracy rating, in which case you can take it with a bit more gravitas, a little bit more seriousness.
Well, just keeping up with our thread, Paul Richards, will Oliver's knees stand the pressure? Well, he seems young enough. Lee Smith is kind of, I think, perplexed. So this guy had a photo shoot in the TARDIS set. Yeah, go fathom, Lee Smith. It's allowed for some people, not for everybody. I mean, it's a private company. And then it's put on a Instagram account of the showrunner or ex-showrunner, and then it's got Murray Gold's copyrighted music on top. I mean, just go fathom. Yeah. Can I do that for more than 3 seconds on YouTube? No, no, no. Tomboy Chick was expecting to see Steptone's son. Tomboy Chick, come on. Totters Lane, you know, Ian Foreman. Away. Paul Richards does think that the way we do RTD is not deferential at all. We're making the most terrifying villain in history. Yeah, exactly. He is. Squinty Mint, thank you very much. The Who Pets are getting classier. They'll give RTD inspiration. We might have puppets in it next. We might do a Muppet special. He's done musicals, so all we need is a big kind of routine, don't we? Tomboy Chick is worried what's going to happen with that gherkin. Well, well, yeah, that's why it's there. I mean, I did say to Garbage, can you do one with a kind of a veg and then another one with a gun? Garbage Who? He's storming it at the moment, and I couldn't get his video on. It didn't do the blooming sound thing, but we've all seen it, haven't you, with Chris Eccleston and all the rest of it. I'll mention it again in a moment because it hit the ground running, didn't it? Filming for next year's Christmas special apparently doesn't start till February and March, says Stephen. That's what I'd heard as well. So somebody's played a game, I think. But anyway, we're jumping the gun. So that's Oliver Cole. You can see it on RTD's account if you want to risk your life. And there's a few theories there. Go fathom. And then this person, Nope, says he confirmed in the comments he is not playing the new Doctor, so I'm thinking companion in next year's Christmas special with Billie Piper. Gee, God, why? Yeah, it is just speculation, but is this the way you announce things on somebody's personal account?
This is not the way you're supposed to announce things if that's the direction they're going to go in. And the reality is you run the risk of creating a crowded TARDIS. The general consensus from people that are using a few active brain cells is that you've got to probably bring Tennant back, do a remerging of whoever Billie Piper is and the Tennant Doctor in order to craft the new character. But you've only got an hour in which this whole story unfolds. So if you introduce a new character at that time as a companion, that makes it even more complicated. I just think that it would be poor storytelling at this point if he went that way.
So I've warmed you all up, everybody. That's Oliver Cole for 30 seconds. He looks as though he's playing a young Doctor in the TARDIS. Go fathom. So that was on Doctor Who Day. What else on Doctor Who Day? What made this a Doctor Who dud, a Doctor Who flop? Well, actually, as Matt said here, no missing episodes announced, no colorizations, no animation announcements. The thing is, and I just want to say this again, Christian, we've done a few missing episodes discussions. As you know, I'm doing another one tonight on Dalek Master Plan at 8 p.m. But Film is Fabulous have not said a date. And I did knock back a few in our thread and a few who make YouTube comments later saying, well, come on then. You know, it's Doctor Who Day. I bet you it's going to happen on Doctor Who Day. No, I knew it wouldn't be Doctor Who Day. I've got no inside knowledge. I've briefly talked to John Franklin of Film is Fabulous, and I was in no doubt there that they will do it when they're ready. And you cannot rush film restoration. So it's an arbitrary date. It's an artificial date. It makes no sense to anybody apart from it's a fact for a nerd that on the 23rd of November 1963, Doctor Who started. That's it. What, we suddenly have to find all our missing episodes that day? No.
No, well, a lot of people don't realize that Film is Fabulous is not the Doctor Who Uncovery restoration company. It's a volunteer organization that restores everything. Doctor Who is just a small part of what they do. So they can't set aside a special holiday for just that one production. They can't. It's going to be an arbitrary day if and when they make an announcement.
So yeah, I know some people were disappointed that we didn't get a missing episodes announcement. I never, ever expected that. And in a way, I hate forcing things. Philip Morris did make a point about this. He felt a bit rushed with Enemy of the World and Web of Fear. Rushed into an announcement on a kind of Doctor Who day then. I think it's all rubbish. And I think we've all got to learn, let's not go for artificial and superficial and stupid stuff. Let's just wait. Tom by Chick. Film is Fabulous. Probably can't even set a date for announcement yet. Yeah. Copyright. Access to resources. Restoring it. Being allowed to give it back to the BBC because there's negotiation there. Negotiation with dead people's estates. There's so much. And other material, films and stuff. And then going to Blackpool only a week ago and doing an event because obviously as a charity they need to fundraise as well. My God. So yes, no missing episodes, no colorizations. Well, hallelujah for that. I would love colorizations. I know some people don't want colorizations. I know certainly people don't want colorizations with butchered editing. But we also didn't have any announcements about animations. But this all kind of goes together a bit, Christian, because you may have no animation announcements because we're all waiting to see what they found.
Exactly. That's it. I'd like missing episodes to appear. And frankly, I like proper colorization as long as the episode has not been edited within an inch of its life and retooled to somehow reflect current day Doctor Who. That's a big no-no. But I don't expect anything. I tell you what, I'll expect it when I actually see it. That's
Yeah.
when I'll expect it.
Now, I understand everybody's different. I've given my opinion and I like to share others. Bobby pushes back a bit. One episode announced would have been great, maybe by Christmas. I think it's a slippery slope, Bobby, though, because if Film is Fabulous blink and go, well, we haven't got it ready, but we kind of think it's... I'm going to make one up, by the way, because as I know, people screenshot me and start saying Omni Rumours 0.5 and all this rubbish. I'm waffling here. It's an example. Let's say they say, oh gosh, we think it's Marco Polo Part 4, but we could announce it, but we haven't got it ready. Slippery slope, because the next thing is everyone's going, I wonder if they've got Part 4. Have they got Part 3? Have they got... And in the end, it just causes merry hell. I know what you mean, Bobby. We all want to know the news, but I think it's a slippery slope. Why don't they just get it all dots-eyed, T's crossed, and then the big announcement? That I think makes... I personally think makes a lot more sense. Garbage, moderating, has been at work... doing his AI. We have said time and again, Doctor Who is not a day for announcements from Film is Fabulous. They have no interest in that date. And I concur, they do not. A super chat, thank you very much, Mr. Generous. Michael Nemo, hypocrisy. RTD didn't want Tennant or Gatwa in Jodie's costume, and yet he is Piper in... Right. I will give you a thank you in a minute properly from the Who Pets when we get to that item. So I'll get to that item, Michael. Thank you, by the way. So I suppose our punters are telling us, get shifting along. So I'll get shifting along. First of all, the only other thing yesterday was we got a publicity shot of the TARDIS at Stonehenge. Woo! It reminds me of the Pandorica story. Not my favourite, but it also reminds me of Stones of Blood. I preferred that one. So, why? I mean, so a lorry deposited the TARDIS there, took a photograph. Woo! Gosh, what a Doctor Who day. I was in so excited. I mean, I had all my candles ready. I was... God, can you imagine you do a surprise birthday and you've got this candle, this cake with about 80 candles and you walk in the room and there's nobody there. That's how Doctor Who day felt like to me.
I'm surprised they didn't craft one with the TARDIS on a Federation starship from Star Trek. Oh, they've already done that one. Okay.
Yes. Good to see timescales. Knowing where these missing episodes are doesn't mean we automatically get them by Christmas. Well, exactly. So therefore, if they shouldn't announce, because people then start saying, I wonder if we can get a box set by March. I wonder... No, just leave it. It's called work. People have to do work. So the Doctor Who Day hoax I'm coming to next. It's the one everybody wants to talk about. There's the photograph. It looks a bit like the Paul Mcgann TARDIS. Yeah. It looks, well, it does obviously look like the Mcgann movie costume. Billie Piper is wearing that absolute mess of the outfit that Shooty was in the Reality War. I wasn't sure he was wearing trousers. I thought he completely swapped. There's loads that doesn't look right. This looks so blatant. I mean, this is either, I said on my Facebook thing yesterday, Christian, this is either the biggest security breach in television history, or it's a neat AI done well for Doctor Who Day.
I think that second one is it. Yeah, I've said before, one of the things that Mcgann was not fond of was the extremity of his style and look in the TV movie. He was much happier with his Night of the Doctor revisitation, where things were more or less grunged up, along with the appropriate hair and so on. Yeah, at the same time, Billie Piper's outfit if it were actually supposed to be inheriting Gat does not mimic it entirely. And for me, one of the dead giveaways is this almost looks like Billie Piper circa 15 years ago. This wasn't the image of her face, poorly made up, by the way, in the reality war. So I'm just, for me, this smacks of AI and poorly thought out, that someone didn't consider a lot of these facts. They simply said what they wanted to do was craft an image that would grab the audience and feed into hope and expectation. Again, it's a publicity stunt, so to speak. And one of the things that we've talked about very often is the opportunity to bring back Paul Mcgann and use him in a meaningful way. So maybe someone actually heard us talking about that and said, hey, why don't we craft an image that reflects that? It seems like the fans would like to see it. It's a good way to pull the wool over their eyes.
I mean, you know, I'll show you a bit more about where everybody goes. Most people are thinking it's AI. Logically, they think it's AI. It's practically possible that it's AI for some of the reasons you've just said. It's too fan fiction. It's too fantasy. Billie Piper doesn't quite look right. Her hands look quite butch. I know that looks like Paul Mcgann, but it also doesn't quite look like Paul Mcgann when I've seen him at recent conventions. You're fooled and tricked by the flooring, which looks like an updated version of one version of the New Who TARDIS flooring. It looks a bit like the movie TARDIS, but AI is good at stuff like that. People are all talking about the face masks in the background. Well, actually, if you looked at some of the behind the scenes of Doctor Who recently, some people are wearing face masks because, you know, time is money. And although COVID is over as the big threat, some people in the industry are wearing masks. So that could make it more authentic. But it doesn't tell us a time period. That's definite. It's cleverly done. I'll give them that. But I just want to really jump into an awful lot of things here. Farsight, his hair is wrong. Yeah, I agree. The hair on his forehead is like it was in the TV movie promo, and they've cropped the back of it. Yeah, his hair's not like that now. I was trying to look at some photographs of Billie Piper recently in Wednesday and that, and she has thinned a bit, and she has maybe made herself look a little bit better. She had she's had kids and all the rest of it, but I don't know. It's so confusing, this. Let's jump on this. There's a few things you can focus on. Look at the hand of the worker in the background. Now, It's the man who's got his hand on the rail. And I know it's hard when you zoom in to say, well, what am I looking at? You can see 4 fingers, the thumb twisted, and then there's some other thing there. You all know this from the Kate Middleton photographs. Remember when she, for the sake of convenience, because she had cancer and that, she doctored a photograph with her and the 3 kids, and somebody said, hold on, one of the kids has got 4 fingers, and and all that. I think that's all we've got here is a bit of mush from that. Now, Garbage Who, right on trend, made on his channel a video with Chris Eccleston arriving, Billie Piper, Paul Mcgann. Again, it's fan fiction. It's fun. It's certainly not going to be true. And that's the thing we've got to stick to. Now, I typed into Grok this. In the photo of Paul Mcgann and Billie Piper filming an episode of Doctor Who, is it AI generated? And this is what Grok said. Yes, all the photos I've shown you of Paul Mcgann and Billie Piper together in the TARDIS are AI generated. There has never been an official Doctor Who episode or scene filmed with Paul McGann's 8th Doctor and Billie Piper's Rose Tyler together on screen. Well, we know that. So no real behind-the-scenes or on-set photos from such a production exist. Well, in history, we know that. Thank you, Grok, for telling me the bleeding obvious. Everything I've posted is synthetic imagery created to look like grainy, period-appropriate production stills from an imaginary what-if crossover that never happened. That's what Grok said, Christian.
Yeah, and that's what it appears to be to me. Yeah.
So, is this a bluff? Is this us being naive? Well, let's go for the first one, first of all, for those who did believe it.
Stage. Oh, this way.
A double cross. Gets more interesting by the minute.
So, was it a double cross that we got there? They're confusing us deliberately. They're tricking us, Christian.
Oh yeah. Well, they know that the show is hurting. Its reputation has been sullied. Most of the fans have walked away. And so one of the best things that they can come up with is something like this to try and galvanize enthusiasm and discussion again, because a lot of people have already abandoned the show and they're heading for the hills. They're done with it. So they're going to try and bring them back. And what better way to bring someone back than with a bit of fan fiction that a lot of people might want to see?
Yeah, because if somebody wants it, and I think most of us have said we want Paul Mcgann. So of course, if you were making AI, it feeds into that. Just get Paul Mcgann on. And that's why Garbage who chucked Chris Eccleston in as well, just to give us this kind of picture that will never ever happen. So is this a double cross? Is this a bit of trickery from the production team or somebody else? Or are we just naive, gullible, idiotic fans?
Oh, my dear doctor, you have been naive.
You may disguise your features, but disguise your intent.
And you can't approve.
You know I can't.
I don't approve. I don't approve of treating us as if we're naive.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's always a good excuse to watch proper Doctor Who. So as you can see here, Deja Vu, I'm not convinced it's AI. Oh, so here we go, bit of balance. If it is, it's very good. But as a leak, they wouldn't want to get it to get out. They would be happy for it to be discredited, wouldn't they? 50-50 myself, as I wouldn't want to look foolish proclaiming myself an expert either way. I'm saying it now, Christian. I'm no expert. I've looked at it. I've tried to rationalise. I've tried to think of the BBC response. No panic, no nothing. They've thrown us an Oliver Cole twink running around the TARDIS console. They've shown us a TARDIS at Stonehenge that have been planned beforehand. I didn't see any panic to try and get it taken down. I didn't see any kind of desperate kind of line to be careful what you see. Remember a few years ago, RTD warned us to be careful. There's a spoiler online. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And remember the timing, everybody. Doctor Who Day. Somebody with AI has made this up. Like I said, the grainy quality and the detail within the shot impressed me. But I'm an AI novice. Mark Lewis, I think it's AI now. Look at Billie's hands. Do we have to? That's not a hand there, by the way, everybody, but you can see her hands. I did have a close look at her hands. Yeah, I'm gay. And they do look a bit masculine to me. I'm sorry. So there's that. Jean-Luc. Oh, God, Picard. Like, it's not even that good a fake either. The likenesses are off. Costumes make no sense. The COVID-19 masks, Billie's massive right hand, the wedding ring on Paul's finger, as well as the inconsistent floor texture and details on the console. Also, is that the Capaldi router? So, people are, on the whole, people were not convinced. I'm amazed how many people yesterday wanted to do a stream to kind of declare it or something. I thought, well, there's no news. I'm happy today to wrap it up with merchandise and other news. But it clearly, to me, overall, my conclusion is it's a hoax. It's a good bit of fun. That's all it is. But there's too many inconsistencies there. Now, Michael Nemo, you have also said for your £5. Now, he's added a bit more here. Actually, the fuller image shows Troughton from season 6B with Cushing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a bit like Michael Nemo. You know that shot in the 50th when we got every Doctor so far all lined up? It was quite an emotional shot, actually. But yeah, I take your point, Michael Nemo, and I did say I'd say thank you, and I've got another way of saying thank you. I've been working here. You know we're all fearing December. You know why, Christian? The Sea Devils, the Omnibus, the editing, and the Homo Aqua. Well, Garbage Who has been at it.
This is our planet. We shall destroy man and reclaim the planet.
Garbage is going to be going, I've never picked that music. Garbage, I've got so many problems with my technology at the moment. I can't play your main video and I can't play your music, but it is Garbage Who, everybody. Oh, God. But it is nice swimming, so I've tried my best. But yeah. So thank you, Michael Nemo, but he's the gift that keeps giving, so I've got to keep my politeness going. This image reveals to me just how utterly starving Doctor Who fans are for something actually connected to Who that looks interesting. Yeah, Michael, I sat there for a minute yesterday before I decided I'd have a life and not do any streams. And I was thinking, well, that's the only thing to talk about. But it's an AI photograph. We all know. What do you need me to come on the air to say that? Nah. So I had a nice Sunday watching the football and doing other stuff. But yeah, we are starving, Michael Nemo. We're all waiting for various things. Hopefully, Michael, the Homo Aqua shot cheered you up and is a decent thank you for you being so generous. Thank you very much. Garbage says it was made in minutes. All right, more then. No, Stephen, Billie Piper has recently been shown at her birthday party with red hair, and in this it's blonde again, unless it's a wig. Oh, no more wigs. Matt Smith wig, Paul McGann's wig. I mean, how many wigs do we want? The thing is, she's been busy with other stuff. Paul McGann at a recent convention did not have hair like that. And I know, as you said, he hates that costume. And if you're going to do a Christmas special, are you really going to bring back Billie Piper and Paul McGann? And I mean, honestly, it's just too complicated, all this lot. If it is, I tell you what, it's event TV in RTD's head, but it's not the event TV I want for Doctor Who. It's that stuff like the Next Doctor. You talk about, is this the Next Doctor in front of us? Then when you realise it isn't, you'll never watch that bloody episode again.
That's right. That's absolutely true.
So there you go. Grok isn't convinced by itself. AI's marking AI. Talk about marking your own homework. Bungle Bear, is it just testing the waters to see if there's a massive positive reaction to either McGann or Piper being the Doctor? Well, we all know that McGann is a good Doctor, and we all know that everybody, I don't know any Doctor Who fan who doesn't want McGann back. So it doesn't need to be trialled. Mark Postgate, maybe the hoaxes are trial balloons so they can predict what would galvanise enthusiasm. Mark, again, the answer's simple. We all know what would galvanise. Do you know what? I'll give you this advice for free. Making Doctor Who. There you go. Just make Doctor Who. It's dead simple. Stop trying to make it something else. Stop trying to change the Doctor. Make Doctor Who and make the main character the Doctor. And you'll get the fans back. It's dead simple. He's trying his best, is RTD, Stephen Moffat and Chris Timber, because they're bored. They're bored with the concept and they want to play with it. That is the problem. If somebody respectful came to the franchise, somebody respectful who maybe doesn't have a hinterland of understanding Doctor Who, but they're a top TV producer and writer, and then go, right, how do I apply the rules to this? And how do I make this work? You probably get a success again. Philip Hinchcliffe, Christian, was 29 when he became Doctor Who producer.
Incredible when you stop and think about it. But he had the skill sets and he respected the property. I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, 29 years old, and he took risks with his career. And in the end, he got shoved along, didn't he? Really? I mean, so there you go. Most people I saw were not convinced by it. I kept staring at it, going, "But God, if this really came out, would the BBC just sit there going, 'Let's hope nobody's noticed. Let's hope people just slag it off'? Or would the BBC really try to kind of announce, hold on, or would they? And let's take it the other way, Christian. Let's say this was a real shot. That, as Garbage Who said in the thread earlier, are they allowing people to take photographs on set? Oh yeah, really? They keep changing the script every day. So let's just imagine for a second it's true. If it was true, why don't the BBC then maybe go, "Oh well, what the hell? Let's announce it then." Do you know what I mean? And let's get on top of the publicity. But they didn't. They didn't say watch out for spoilers online. They didn't say, right, well, let's own this announcement. It was announced, it was released on Doctor Who Day, go fathom, on a day when there was no news. And AI can do clever stuff nowadays. But AI is not that clever, where it's got Mcgann wearing stuff he hates, Billie Piper's in a real kind of strange myriad of costumes and not looking quite like her. It's a strange concoction of the Doctor Who movie TARDIS and a bit of other stuff. I think it's just a clever mess.
It's a clever mess. I wouldn't think that this was actually put out by anyone associated with Bad Wolf or the BBC. I would say this was put together by a very good artistic fan who knows how to use AI. And once it was out, the BBC couldn't capitalize on it because what they're crafting has nothing to do with what was displayed, but they're not disclaiming it because it's still creating buzz. So they're going to let this ride until the buzz dies down and people forget about it. But for the nonce, for the moment, it's just a clever AI hoax.
And as Michael Nemo did say earlier, I'm linking it to Farsight now. According to reports, yeah, we've all heard them, Farsight, yeah, they want every existing Doctor back. I know some streamers have gone, "Oh God, I'll get loads of views just waffling on about a rumor." Right, okay, we're gonna get Chris Eccleston on set, are we? Only on Garbage Who's AI version. I'm sorry, Chris Eccleston is authentic. He's moral. He will not go near Jane Tranter, RTD, Julie Gardner, and Phil Collinson. So that's just a rumour, isn't it, Farsight? And it's just a rumour because fans, as Michael Nemo says, are starving. And they're trying to concoct, trying to speculate. As I said on my thumbnail, Doctor Who Day was a flop. Therefore, it's been littered with hoaxes and rumours and nonsense and froth. And we're going to get Tom Baker back next to Chris Eccleston, next to Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and everybody else. And actually also, Christian, I don't want that. That sounds like a mess. The Three Doctors works because it was well written, good story, and you didn't have the three actors together all the time, so it kind of worked. Five Doctors just about managed it. But no, that just sounds like a mess.
Well, narratively speaking, you can't make a story like that work. If you had 14 or 15 different leads sharing screen time for 60 minutes, how do you even entertain the possibility of giving each of them a meaningful amount of screen time? If they did anything on that nature, narratively speaking, it would have to be akin to just cameo shots of them from early episodes that are somehow shoehorned in. But it wouldn't be the actor, it wouldn't even be the character interacting with the primary focus of the story. They would be window dressing. That's the only way they'd be able to pull that off. And most of us have gotten tired of that. If you want to have a quote multi-doctor story, it has to be very well written, and the maximum I think you can get away with is 3. And I don't even want that at this point. We've done it to death.
Yeah, if RTD is competent enough to listen to a minutiae of criticism or positive feedback, constructive feedback, Can you please, RTD, stop impersonating JNT and just doing loads of fan fiction? Can you please produce a brand new villain, a brand new monster, and actually not refer to the past? And the other thing, Christine, is it was only in 2023, 2 years ago, when we had 3 specials that were supposed to especially celebrate 60 years of Doctor Who before we moved on to the new Disney era. So why the hell 2 years later would you get them all back again? Power of the Doctor. We had them all there on the edge. Do we need them all back again? I don't want Doctor Who to start getting to like some Golden Girls flashback sequence. You know, whether, you Americans, I'm saying you Americans. I mean, we used to love watching your sitcoms. And when they've done about 28 episodes in a season, and the last episode, they just sit around the table and they show lots of clips. Yeah, I don't want Doctor Who to turn into that.
Oh, you mean you don't want a nice clip show? Isn't that the epitome of creative innovation? Doesn't that sound narratively compelling to you?
For every time we saw Logopoulos with some clips in a time when there was no real video, or Earthshock, and you got some clips of the Doctors. Yeah, that's great. But now it's done to death, isn't it? Now, Lex Kane here. Thank you very much. We need a hard reboot. Hey, me and you, brother. Erase Tennant and Gatwa. Oh no, I'm not with you now. I'm just listening to what my source said, and I'm going to say it again. Source, get better soon. We love you, and that's all I can say, right? But get better, please. Like they did the Bobby in the shower in Dallas. Well, thank you for that. And I'm always grateful. And I think I'm doing all the different eras now. So let's jump era again. Bit of Tom.
You said we were alone here. Trapped like this, like a sponge beneath the sea. I, Morbius, who once led the High Council of the Time Lords, now reduced to this. Who are you? Where have you come from? You one of the Sisterhood?
I thought it was absolutely vital to do this. And I'm so proud of the fact that I deserve an award. And I have problems with her. And lots of us on the production team that I hired only last week had problems with her.
Yes, that's the very gifted Jack. I haven't had him on for a while, and I will try and get him back on to do new content. Garbage, who was good. Jack's good. There's some really gifted people out there. So we've got Bungle again. It all started in 1963 with the show being a proving ground for relatively new talent like Verity Lambert, Roris Hussein, Delia Derbyshire. The show would benefit from returning to that ethos. Yeah, I think it's become too popular, too global, and therefore too cultural. I did say on an earlier stream months and months ago, my concern about Doctor Who is it was always the outsiders. It was our little program. What's happened now is it's become apparently mainstream, although the views don't say that at the moment. But it's become a cultural icon for Britain, representative of the BBC, blah, blah, blah. Now, as soon as it becomes that, it's a totem pole. It's somebody else's toy. And you therefore diminish it, dilute it, erode it. And so I think the unraveling of Doctor Who was when it actually became successful. That was the disaster, actually.
Well, that very much is the case. Any property that all of a sudden enters the mainstream zeitgeist, everyone wants to lay claim to it. They want to claim a piece of it. Well, at that point, you've taken it away from the creators that were willing to take chances and help craft that world, and people from the outside who think they know better want to use it as a stepping stone to move on. And of course, they're going to want to put their stamp on it at the same time, which means transforming it into something it was never meant to be. So sometimes reaching that level of popularity becomes a problem, becomes a handicap.
And I'm not too sure how right, all these rumors, and there's the next room I'm going to show, but as Steve A says, I don't want a 91-year-old Tom Baker, who I saw shots today. He was walking down the street. A woman asked him for a photograph. He was lovely to her. He's loving it. Mr. MBE and all the rest of it. Enjoying his dotage. I don't want a 91-year-old Tom Baker getting carted out for a show that wants to call his contributions, cultural appropriation. I get what you're saying, Steve. The other thing is, the sources told me quite clearly that even actors in their late 70s are hard to insure. So Cowland Ford, it will have been interesting how they managed to but notice that they didn't dare put a whole storyline around Cowland Ford. They didn't risk it. And I don't think insurance wise for TV it would be possible. So the 91-year-old Tom Baker, if these rumors are all supposed to be true, and I'm not buying into it, I think it's just fan fiction. I don't know how you can do it. It would be a real cameo of nothing. We had a brilliant cameo when he was the curator. We don't need Tom Baker again. And he looked like Tom Baker. And you know what I'm saying. There's an element where I adore Tom Baker, but I don't want him dragged back when we've seen the best of him. There's no need for it. So, yeah, I agree with you, Steve. So, here's a bit more of the rumours. I'll go bigger here. I'll just dismantle my whole screen so we can see it. Right. So an acquaintance of mine, we've all seen this one, an acquaintance of mine worked on this Doctor Who project and confirms filming took place at Camber Sands that day. Paul Mcgann performed in his Guardians of the Edge costume and the TARDIS was present. Ever professional, my acquaintance refused to spill the beans any further, even when I offered to get the next round in. So there you go. He was seen filming at Camber Sands. Doctor Who Production News says they filmed scenes for the Ultimate Four at Camber Sands. Thanks, Andrew. This confirms my friend's story. He wasn't involved in the production and just happened to be in the area. I wonder what was being filmed. Blu-ray bonus material? Children in Need? Well, it certainly wasn't this year. Another Guardians of the Edge cameo for the 2026 special. I think this is the very problem, Christian, with the show. It's the power of the Doctor. The Doctor's all on the edge of consciousness. They've found another wheeze to bring them back. And yet, in the Three Doctors, it was established that you can't ever cross their timelines, and it's really a no-no. Only Baruza could do it in the Forbidden Zone, and I don't know. I'm starting to just think you've really stop playing with the show. Stop it. You're not making us love Peter Davison more. You're not making us love Tom Baker more. They've done their bit, and actually their bits are preserved. Leave them alone. Let's move forward. And why, Christian, can't a Christmas special move forward with new material and a new idea? And I tell you what, Christian, I'm sick of saying it now. RTD, if you're going to write some Doctor Who, will you come up with a new sci-fi concept?
He needs to come up with something new. They've mined the history, the canon to death. And it's the law of diminishing returns. The more you go back and you revisit something, the less impactful it tends to become until it becomes a caricature of itself. It becomes misused. If you're going to use it, you're going to use it poorly. And it handicaps you as a writer. It prevents you from thinking of other avenues to pursue, other villains or narratives to create. So I just get the feeling that RTD doesn't know enough, or he's not skilled enough at this point to be able to craft those kinds of narratives in an intelligent way. Moffat had that capacity when he didn't overload himself with multiple TV series simultaneously. But he does tend to have the capacity to make those leaps. Yeah. RTD doesn't. If he's successful, usually it's because of someone else's contribution or because he crafted something, a situation that he almost lucked into, but not because it was actually good on its own merits. Yeah. So I don't trust him to be able to do anything of quality.
Yeah. Something new. Remember, when he launched Doctor Who, Autons, nesting consciousness, straight away. The Lady Cassandra End of the World was an interesting one. That's where you thought, oh, Doctor Who's kind of now ploughing a new furrow. It was Mark Gatiss that then did the historical one. The World War III one was a bit of a Slovene mess. Obviously, Stephen Moffat did well with the World War II one. And then you got the space opera Dalek Master Plan-esque Big Brother finish. RTD is not really a sci-fi writer, is he? He's a Doctor Who fan, I'll give him that, but he's not. Now, good to see you. The core of sci-fi fantasy. The worst thing that ever happened to Doctor Who was Tennant and RTD. Go discuss, Christian.
No, I think he's right. The problem with the Tennant interpretation was you crafted someone who was far too human and given to soap opera-esque stories. And of course, Tennant himself, when he came back and did the specials and started to make, well, let's say contentious commentary in the social media, became problematic just by dint of being Tennant. RTD, he's beyond being able to bring the show back. The way he has continued it has largely damaged the brand. And so it's funny. Both of them started out as assets, and both of them have become dead weight.
The peak of David Tennant was the Voyage of the Damned, the Kylie Minogue Christmas special. Ratings-wise, that was the peak. But when you see him in that tuxedo, walking away from an explosion behind him, there's a touch of James Bond. And, of course, this is the era when RTD made the David Tennant Doctor into Space Jesus. Yeah. And so, core of sci-fi fantasy, I'm with you all the way. Sometimes the most successful moment in Doctor Who is its undermining moment. And I feel as though when I saw, and I enjoyed the Voyage of the Damned, overall, it was clearly robots of death on a ship. But I also felt as though we are moving away from the Doctor. The Doctor is in a corner, and his Sonic might get us out of a problem after he's had a chat with Joe Grant over a cheese nibble. But, now it's bang, 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 and it's all that. Okay, it's not my thing. Doesn't work. So thank you for that. I always say, well, maybe you don't know, I always say thank you. Here's my thank you to you for being a generous person.
Happiness will prevail. When you smile, I want to see those teeth.
I understand you're responsible for this planet. And is it a happy...
And everyone on Terra Alpha is very happy. Don't worry, I'm back. Fifi's been eating too many chocolates lately. Dreary closed. Happiness will prevail. Oh, there we are, my dog. We're a team, Fifi, you and I. You take the vermin in the pipes. You betrayed me. You're supposed to be waiting for Fifi.
I'm filling up. Again, everybody probably knows I hated the Happiness Patrol, but I love the music. The concept is there, though. There is a concept there, so yeah. I tick for that. You know me and the Sylvester McCoy era, everybody, but I'm trying to be fair. We've got, let's have a look. Jen Sable here. I'll be amazed if David Tennant isn't in it at some point. RTD New Who has become obsessed with him, even if the audience are exhausted of him. Shame, because he was great back in the day. That's my very argument why I said, please don't bring Tom Baker back, Peter Davison back, Colin Baker back, Sylvester McCoy back, or anybody else back. They've had their moment, and that's brilliant. And leave it. I don't need Peter Davison talking to Janet Fielding going, Adric. It doesn't work. It's a lot of crap. I mean, I didn't get upset that Adric died. I thought it was milked. I think it's become a bit of myth. I was sat there 12, 13, 14. I can't remember what quite my age was then. It was about there. And the black titles. The titles where it was just blacked out really, and you just had the scrolling and no music. I hated. Remember, I was audio recording. I mean, I'm recording silence. Hey, oh, I played that a lot. I wasn't upset and I wasn't crying. I was miffed. I was just miffed. So I'm not into all this. I really am not. So yes, I totally get it. Don't bring people back. I think it's the law of diminishing returns. And in David Tennant's case, oh boy, yes. And I don't want to discredit him. Yes, he was a very popular doctor, a very dynamic doctor. But the trouble is, Christian, when you see them more in dribs and drabs, I don't mean in their actual era.
Yeah.
You know, if David Tennant comes back for the 50th, then he comes back for another bit, then another bit, then another bit. You actually start to see the gimmicks. You actually start, it actually unravels what the chemistry of him, doesn't it?
It does. It actually damages suspension of disbelief because your first reaction as a viewer is going to be, really? Really? Again? And it damages what you're trying to do. You can't do it.
Well, we've got lovely, maybe it's because I've just got back really, but people have been very generous and that's, I've always appreciated. Thank you. Remember, I'm on again tonight at 8 p.m. with the Daleks Master Plan and Stefan. Tennant always calls himself a huge fan, says Marie UK, of Doctor Who, to the extent he won't hear any criticism of the show, even though it is obvious it's no longer Doctor Who. Well, he knows where his bread's buttered, as they say. That's the issue, isn't it, Christian? I mean, you know, we also, well, we were both, well, you're still in education. I used to be a teacher.
No, I wouldn't have guessed.
I think that should get the £5 because everyone's waiting for it. Yes, I used to be a teacher. But we all saw the people at the top who got on because they all ingratiated themselves. The rest of us got on with running the place. And there were people who were always knocking on the door of the head saying, did you know I had an idea? And I feel as though David Tennant's going, I think you did really well with that trans message, RTD. Very good, very good. RTD, you know, ignore them. Ignore the critics. You know what they're like, you know. You know those people who tweet you with all that crap, you know. I'm behind you. So, before I get his reaction to going, what's Brendan waffling on about now? I suppose I should say thank you, Marie. God, aren't I up myself? Brendan's Broadcasting Corporation. My God, who do I think I am? Thanks, Garbage Who. So, to cheer you all up in my clinic, it is a therapy after all. I'm supposed to be prescribing something and medicating. Right, we've had the bad news. You've got 3 months to live. No, right. Sorry, the program's over. It's terminal. The program's dead. Right. How many people have seen Obsolete by Anthony Lamb? Episode 1, The Summons, on YouTube. I watched it and I'm going to have to watch it again. The detail, the quality, the love, the passion. Oh, Christian, what did you make of it?
Impressive. Would that we had that kind of creativity at the BBC itself on a regular basis.
I know, and I know there was a recent Dalek series, but this is fab. If anyone hasn't seen it, just type in Obsolete and watch 15 minutes of Daleks. And it's just so well directed. Even that last shot, because there's obviously a series, the last shot when the Daleks approaching slowly and each set of lights in this kind of spacecraft go out bit by bit. So that is so well directed. And then it just goes to black. Oh, it goes to black. It can be done, you know, in 2025, RTD. Just fade
only if RTD's listening.
Yeah. So everybody look out for that one. That's a cheer up. That's a pick me up. That obviously was released yesterday. As Garbage Who says, the trailer for Obsolete looks incredible. Watch the 15 minutes, Garbage Who. It's great. Absolutely high quality. Marie,
well, we need something to pump up our mood at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine that's exactly what Tennant does, Brendan. He probably sends RTD trans plot lines. Not sure. I mean, I was making that up. Obviously, he's got skin in the game, so yeah, maybe. I'm going in May 2026, says Lex Kane, to see William Shatner hopefully get his autograph in Liverpool. Oh, God. I didn't know he was in the country, Lex. Ooh. Mind you, that man, is he pickled? William Shatner, he just keeps going. I know he had a little
keeps
health
going.
scare recently, but he just keeps going.
I won't be surprised to see him make the century mark at this point.
And look, there's something about it because, you know, we all liked Star Trek, the original. We all have memories of it, great nostalgia, and it was great TV. And then Doctor Who in the 60s and 70s, and Tom Baker, and you just think, oh God, I don't know what we're going to do when they do go. It's going to be so. When Liz Sladen died, that was like a kick in the balls to me. That I remember being pretty upset to hear.
She went too soon. She had more decades in front of her. She should still be here.
And I know it's cancer. It's so sad. It steals. But you know, Liz Sladen, because she's attached to my childhood with Doctor Who, and I know a lot of people think the same thing. Oh God, it's a gut punch. Tom Baker, yeah. William Shatner, yeah. Now, cheer up again. If maybe Series 10, the soundtrack, is finally released. You can get it in December, everybody. Why we had to wait this long is beyond me, but there's the cover. Some people are going mad about the cover because they're saying the artwork's been wrecked by having that Doctor Who logo there. That's not going to make much sense to you, but it's got music from The Return of Dr. Mysterio. Gosh, have you ever watched that again? Oh God, did it have music? I wasn't aware of it. You know, I mean, this is not a perfect period though for me, Christian. Twice upon a time the music did the shepherd's boy and he regenerated, so the music might have a nice emotion attached, but when I look at I'm not sure.
Well, I think part of the problem is Series 10 is a little bit damaged based on the stories and the direction the show was going, even at that time. So while you can get some brilliant music, it's still associated with a weakening of the Doctor Who brand. And that's unfortunate. You don't want to have any kind of negative associations.
No. I do collect these soundtracks. You know, some of us collect various things, don't we? And some we avoid it. I do love overall Murray Gold's music, but we now seem to be hitting. I'm a completist, so of course I get it. But then I looked at the index and I thought there's a lot of stuff there that doesn't resonate with me at all. There's episodes there that I haven't watched again, so I'm buying it to be a completist. I'm not sure I'm buying it for the love of all the music there. Twice Upon a Time, I reckon I'll play a lot, but yeah, that's it really. But I might cheer people up. Obviously, it's just before Christmas. Common sense applies to Doctor Who fans there. Stephen O'Neill in Wigan. I watched An Unearthly Child yesterday to counterphrase the original one, you might say, to celebrate Doctor Who Day. Well, I got clips of it, didn't I, with the Who pets. And that episode 1 is still, I mean, it's class, isn't it? I wish we could enjoy in some way that episode 1 and the making of that episode 1. Can't I do? I know Matt Gatiss did his love letter to Doctor Who, but that gave us a lovely taste of you could make some amazing material of that era. I mean, I saw I think it was actually Matt Gatiss who said it would make a very good drama, like his drama on, you know, removal of Hartnell, to do the Trial of a Time Lord period. That would be fascinating TV, wouldn't it?
It would be. I'd love to see that.
It would be. Well, it's proper drama, proper tension, rivalry, revenge, love affairs, Colin Baker fighting for his career, JNT going, what the hell do I do? Because I'm torn between one and the other. Michael Grade, who's the great destroyer of Doctor Who in that period. Doctor Who flunking in the ratings against Coronation Street and being thrown from pillar to the post. There's a lot going on. And then there's obviously stuff in Colin's private life, sadly, as well. So it's a period, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but worth revisiting if you want to do that kind of a story again. And it's compelling.
Now, am I finished? No, I've got a tasty item here. Now, obviously, Christian's in America and he won't be bothered in our parochial British politics, but we have a Green leader called Zach Polanski. And Zach Polanski gave an interview. He's given a lot of interviews. He does like being on the telly. And he talked about Doctor Who. Oh, yeah. We're in political. So Zach Polanski, the leader of the Green Party, talking about Doctor Who. Now, he's very progressive, he'll say he is. He's very on the left, blah, blah, blah. But he said, I love Russell T Davies, but I've been pretty disappointed with Doctor Who lately. Exactly! This is what happens, Christian, every time. They have to say, but I do like RTD, but his writing's crap. I really do like RTD as a friend, and I love his politics, but he's wrecked Doctor Who. That's the killer butt, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's the moment you get a qualifier in, you know there's a problem. It's a big issue. RTD, first and foremost, is an activist, and he's an activist in favor of causes on the left. If you're advocating for the left, you've got to advocate for RTD, regardless of whether he's doing damage to a show like Doctor Who. And
Now-
how can someone credibly say that Doctor Who under RTD during this iteration has been successful? It hasn't. So there you have it.
Now, you're safely in Texas, so you probably don't know that our Greens leader in a previous career, Marie is putting it, the tit whisperer. It's a long story, but basically he was doing some hypnosis or something, and he was saying he could maybe convince a woman about breast size and stuff to either reduce or enlarge by hypnosis. And now he's the Greens leader, but he likes RTD, so it's okay. Don't criticize him. He's become a bit of a laughing stock regarding that. He's trying to kind of erase that. But it's fascinating. I'm trying to keep away from the politics, but it's fascinating to see a political leader talking about Doctor Who. Stephen O'Neill, the Doctor is an anti-hero, and Ian questions the Doctor's motives towards the injured caveman in episode 3 of An Unearthly Child with the stone. And I wish he'd stoned him. I wish, in a way, let's do an alternative universe. If he'd fractured the skull of the caveman, it would have made him so cold and alien. I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
It would have been hard to walk back from that one. Although it's hard not to picture what RTD is crafting in his mind, that RTD is anything less than stoned when he's putting these things together.
So let's just get this one more time. Zach Polanski is way on the left of British politics, and he's critical of RTD's Doctor Who. Let's be honest. Yes. Marie, of course he likes RTD. Yes, because of the trans debate. Rose Kirby. By the way, my eyes are not working properly. I'm unable to see comments. Please, can you tell me how I can watch this episode 1? It's on YouTube. Do you mean obsolete, Rose? It's on YouTube by Anthony Lamb. Dalek Lives Matter. Zach Polanski, I think he says is a communist. I don't know that enough detail. The Greens are further left than Labour. Well, that's true. That's why they love RTD. And now people are getting political, which is allowed. I'm going to just kind of stay somewhere in the middle, but let's just look at this again. And I've got some more quotes. I love RTD, but I've been pretty disappointed. I tell you what, that's damning, isn't it? Pretty disappointed with Doctor Who lately. Well, there were only 8 episodes, Zach Polanski. 8 episodes, and Shooty wasn't in every one of them. Shooty was black. Shooty was gay. Zach Polanski's gay, and he's not happy. I'm gay. I wasn't happy. Do you know what, RTD? You thought you'd done this tick list of heaven, but it hasn't worked.
Well, he made the Doctor someone that the Doctor wasn't supposed to be. Bottom line.
And that's what I said. It's dead easy, isn't it? Make the Doctor again, and make Doctor Who Doctor Who. It's so easy. Right, this is what he said in his a small little powder puff of an interview. I love sci-fi, and good for him. And I was about to say that I loved Doctor Who. But, so Radio 4 did a show on me recently called Profile. And it's basically like half an hour of my life. For one thing, they took away from my boyfriend is he said the things about Doctor Who fans is they're always disappointed. I love that for one thing you got to represent with. I've been pretty disappointed with Doctor Who recently. So that's in essence what our leader said. That's our leader, our green leader. I don't know. Doctor Who fans are always disappointed. Well, we were yesterday, but I didn't yesterday expect Doctor Who Day to deliver because I didn't see Doctor Who Day as a day. That's the first thing. Do you believe... Are we always disappointed, Christian?
I don't think we used to be disappointed, but we've been very disappointed of late. And I think the distinction is this. If you're a Doctor Who fan, the chances are you're disappointed at what you've seen.
Yeah.
Why are you disappointed? Because you as a fan actually have a brain and you have standards. You expect quality, consistent storytelling. And that's the one thing that RTD and Bad Wolf refuse to give the fans. So they have a reason to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Am I being unreasonable?
No, they've come up with lots of reasons why TV has changed. The way things are done has changed. So take away the cliffhangers. I'd watch Game of Thrones and it's got cliffhangers. I'd watch other shows with cliffhangers. And you think EastEnders still has cliffhangers. So you're thinking, what do you mean? Only Doctor Who can't have cliffhangers. So you start to change the DNA of Doctor Who. Then you make it as light as possible, which I'm sorry, that's not the Doctor Who I recognise. I tuned in every 25 minutes on a Saturday night knowing I was going to get thrilled and I was going to just check where the exit door was to where our man was in the kitchen. I needed to check my exits. No, what now? I just need a bucket with me for every time I vomit. Or I need headphones for everybody in my lounge that when I watch a Doctor Who episode, I've never shouted at the TV really. And I've never shouted so much at the TV with Doctor Who. So I need to get headphones for everybody now. So it's not about exits and being scared of Doctor Who. It's shouting and frothing at the mouth as like I'm some rabid animal.
Well, it's almost like given what they've displayed, if Doctor Who was on the air, I'm almost embarrassed to share the experience with anyone else. So
yeah,
all I can do is vent in the privacy of my own space.
Yeah, as Moons of Madness. What a beautiful alliterative phrase there. I'm not really disappointed as much as I am apathetic, thanks to the modern audience era. And apathy is the killer, isn't it, Christian? Apathy. I get it.
Yeah.
Apathy. I'm fighting that duty and loyalty to Doctor Who. Where if there's an episode that flashes up, I'm thinking, that's my first reaction. And a version of apathy, defeatism, fear that they're going to wreck even more.
Well, you get to a point where you don't want to be exposed to any more character and canon destroying narratives. It simply reinforces the pain you already feel. And so the easiest thing to do is to disengage emotionally. You become apathetic. Early on, you can fight. You can raise your voice. You can say, hey, you did something wrong. You need to do a U-turn. Fix it. This is not what we want to see. But when you go so far down that road, you pass a point of no return. And at that moment in time, you become entirely apathetic. And hence the idea behind people saying it's now time for a full-blown reboot, because the damage of the current version of the show is so extreme. It's really narratively impossible to repair. If that's the case, you've got to start over.
Which is why I've made the argument. I know I might be in a minority because I think so many fans are loyal to the continuity. So am I. But it's been so butchered and diminished and diluted and wrecked that I have to conclude a hard reboot is all I can stomach. I know that is still an anathema to so many people.
The problem is this, Brendan. I do believe narratively a story can be crafted that repairs the damage. It would have to be very carefully constructed. It could not be a 60-minute story. It would probably be something that extended over many episodes in order to get to a full resolution and to correct some of the problems. The issue is that the BBC, certainly Bad Wolf, will never allow for that. And if that's the case, the best you can hope they'll do is they'll fix this, they'll fix that, but they won't fix all the damage, which means you're just continuing to drag on the inevitable, which at that point means it's just pragmatically, to be honest with myself as a fan, just start over. They've reached that point.
I may have to do a real proper discussion of this one day because I got a lot of kickback the other day when I just said my personal opinion. I know I don't run the show. I'm never going to run the show. It's just my opinion. And it's a sad conclusion. But my conclusion is I haven't enjoyed Doctor Who really for about 10 years. 10 years out of 62. And I'm going to celebrate Doctor Who Day yesterday. I mean, get a life. There's nothing to celebrate. But that's like going back to somebody's grave and staring at it and getting the balloons out. I mean, no, there's nothing to celebrate. It's gone. And so when it's gone in its current era, and I mean current era, I mean just the whole thing, I just think, well, my conclusion is if you've got a fresh team in, totally fresh, and they made Doctor Who, and they actually just got on with the format and getting on with that and didn't think, oh, this is going to have to link with the Time War and this is no, you just leave it alone. That's my opinion. A lot of people don't like it, but I think that's just because of the loyalty thing to the program. I am very loyal to the program, but how can anybody say what we're seeing at the moment is Doctor Who anyway? So that's what I'm saying. Now, Stephen O'Neill is aware I might get triggered even more, and he's aware of my heart. Brendan, trigger warning for you. After Matt Smith's first season finale this Saturday on BBC Three, they are showing the god-awful Christmas special from last year straight after. Right. I'll find something to do, like ironing. Oh, God. So, yeah. Right, well, there you go. Obviously, it's a double bill today. 8 p.m. tonight, me and Stefan are finally getting around to doing our Finding Dalek master plan. We've got crazy cliffhangers. We've got facts coming out of our rerolls. So tonight, tune in. We're all speculating about missing episodes. There's a lot to discuss about these missing episodes. So the Daleks master plan tonight. The closest Doctor Who came to a genuine blockbuster is the argument. And yes, we know there are missing episodes out there. We can wait. Patience is a virtue, as they say. That was our Doctor Who Day surgery. Hope that was all right, Christian, and started your day in the right way.
Absolutely. Just what I needed.
Well, I'll see you all, everybody, in about 4.5 hours' time. Dalek Master Plan. See you later, everybody, and goodbye, and thanks, Christian.
Pleasure.